Welcome to Literature by Arika. Today I'll start with a poem by Emily Dickinson. The name of the poem is The Moors Are Meeker Than They Were. First, I'll start with the poem, then I'll move further with the introduction and the summary part. Okay, so the poem starts with the moors are meeker than they were, the nuts are getting brown, the berry's cheek is plumper, the rose is out of town, the maple wears a grayer scarf, the field a scarlet gown. Lest I should be old fashioned, I'll put up a trinket on. So this was the poem. Is just a two stanza poem. Now I'll move further with the writer's introduction. Okay. So Emily Dickinson was born in 1830 and died in 1886. We should not focus on the date, but the year is really very important. Okay. She was an American lyric poet who lived in isolation or seclusion after her father's death. She is considered as a private poet. Only 10 of her poems were published in her lifetime. Nearly 1800 were published posthumously by her niece. Like, she wrote so much. Oh my god. And she wrote one poem one day and it never had any title. She wrote poems on actual observation and used conceits like John Donne's wit and rhyme. The conceit means that it's like a metaphor. Conceit makes a comparison, but the objects are very dissimilar, not similar, but dissimilar to each other. We'll start with the poem's introduction. The moors are meeker than they were makes a simple observation about the natural features surrounding the speaker. It is a simple riddle that features only 8 lines or 2 stanzas and offers a relatively simple theme that requires no in depth commentary. Here, the poet gives us a charming, witty, and feminine sketch of autumn. Now, I'll start with the poem summary. In this poem, the speaker observed that mornings have become more calm and quiet than they had been. At this point, a reader or listeners have no idea why the behavior of morning should have become meeker, and meeker here means quiet and submissive. The speaker begins to open up the answer to the riddle as she begins to drop hints about her subject. Now she'll unfold what she's trying to speak in her entire poem or the stanza she wrote. Okay, and she describes the browning of the nuts and the plumping of the cheek of berry by the final line of the first stanza, which reports that the roses have gone away and no longer decorating the summer day. The reader can be sure that the speaker is describing the onset of autumn season. It's a season which poetess also loved the most. Okay, she found it unusually inspiring for her poetic musings, and music here means to think about something carefully and for a long period of time. Okay, in the second stanza, the speaker offers further clues about her subject. The maple trees are now decked out in leaves that looks more varied and seem more merry than simple summer green they had until now. They were adorned. Even the meadow now donates a colorful dress, replacing its summer green attire in a bold scarlet gown. Here, the scarlet gown means it indicates how the trees and fields have changed and are more colorful than their summer garments. Okay, so it's a beautiful poem. Okay, the after reporting on all the changes the speaker has observed in the behavior of morning, the coloring of the nuts, the fattening of the berries, the absence of the roses, the maple leaves turning all colorful, and the meadow supporting a bright red dress. The speaker now announces that she will begin wearing some trinket in order to keep up with all the modern day apparel. So, in this poem, she is trying to observe whatever she has come across to the life she has been through. So, the Moors are very much inspiring, and the changing how the everyday attire or how a season is changing its attire with, like, she's mentioning that in every section of the poem. Okay, so the first stanza is complete and the second stanza is also complete. And lastly, she meant that she does not want to be caught dressed for summer and appear old fashioned among the newly minted colorful styles being supported by the beautiful girls that constitute her society of creatures during this new exciting season. Okay, here I end my lesson on this poem by Emily Dickinson. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section below. Till then, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much and have a nice day.